What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, we built this grinder as well as tried to put some solar panels around. You can see I've removed them because apparently my solar panel placement was not appreciated, which it totally makes sense. It was terrible. And I actually got a couple of really good ideas from a couple of the comments, which was to create a designated solar panel area. And I thought, that's smart. Why didn't I think of that? So that may be something we work on today. I also want to try and optimize the grinder, right? Oh, it's gone. I actually started recording in this area for a specific reason. There was a ship out here called, like, the Spirit of Lamondus or something, and I was like, what is that? I want to go see that. I might reload and see if we can go find it. One thing I wanted to bring up, though, before we do that, is that it's come to my attention through the comments, and I started looking into it myself, that there may be some issues going on with the frame rate of my videos. In particularly my Let's Play series. I have not seen it happen in my other stuff, which is really weird because it's all Space Engineers with the same settings. Don't get it. But from what I can tell, it's actually a thing with OBS. And because when I'm playing, like right now, it's all super smooth, but then when I go back and check the footage, it's a little bit on the stuttery side. It was weird because I got a comment about that, like, you know, the frame rate's a little bit choppy, you might want to reduce your... And I was like, I don't remember it being choppy, it looked fine. And then when I went back and started looking at my footage, I was like, that does look choppy. And so I started playing around with it, and it's not real bad, but it is noticeable. It's like there's, like, you guys probably can't compare because you're only seeing what I'm putting up. So I'm gonna apologize in advance if that's the case for everybody, and if it takes me a few episodes to get it squared away, because I don't have a whole lot of time on my hands to tinker with everything, but I have been tinkering and I can't find what's causing it. I've done some things that I found online. I turned on VSync for Space Engineers. I turned off, like, the Windows game DVR in the background, which it was already not really doing anything, but apparently enabling it can have issues. The only thing that I'm thinking of at the moment is the one thing I kept reading about was if you're not streaming, if you're just recording, it can be from the settings being too high and your system can't handle the game and recording at the same time, and it's prioritizing the game, not the recordings. If that's the case, I have a couple of options. The most obvious is I could temporarily drop it down to 30, but as far as at 30 FPS. But the reason I'm thinking is because now there's more stuff going on. There's more bases, there's more lights, there's more ships, whereas for a while we were kind of in one area. Now, hypothetically, if it's a system issue, then I could lower the game settings, which might free up for the system. The weirdest part is OBS doesn't tell me it's straining. It's got like 3% CPU usage, yada yada yada, for all of you that know what any of that stuff means. So if you're familiar with OBS and have had issues like that before, do let me know how you might have fixed them or direct me towards links or anything that might fix them. I've tried a bunch of stuff. I haven't been able to fix it. The only thing that I may try is to roll back to an older version of OBS, because I had heard a couple people got results from doing that, and I have been updating it recently, trying to stay up to date with everything, so that might be a thing. Could also be a Windows update thing, it could also be a driver update. It's hard to tell when everybody's not talking to each other. You've got graphics card developers, you've got Windows, you've got OBS, and they're all developing independently, so it's a little tough. But I wanted to get that out of the way, so if you see it and it's noticeable and it bothers you or something, let me know so I know. And if you notice an improvement in, like, next episode or something, if it looks better, let me know. But I'm not sure, because game-wise, what I'm seeing while I'm recording, this is 60 FPS smooth. So I was not aware of that until I started hearing about it in the comments, and then I started looking into my actual footage and finding it. So bear that in mind, let me know what you guys think, and if you have suggestions, do let me know. I don't know what that stuttering is. It must have been when this loaded in. So yeah, just bear that in mind. All the feedback helps. It lets me know a lot, getting multiple pairs of eyes on things. Now, with that, let me load this up again and see if I can't find that ship I was looking for. Alright, there it is. See it? Spirit of Le Monde. Now, I don't have any jetpack fuel at the moment, and I really quick reloaded the game, ran over to my Sky Factory, loaded up my fuel tanks, flew off after it. It still disappears before I can get to it. I get within like 8 kilometers of it, and it just bloop, it just blinks out of existence. So, apparently it's going there. Yeah, there it goes. That's about how far it gets. So, apparently we're not ready to see that one. I really wanted to see what it looked like, though. Now, while in between that half a second for you guys, I actually reinstalled an older version of OBS and am running on that now, and will probably continue to do so for the rest of the episode, because when I checked the log files, it said there wasn't anything about frames dropped, which I have been getting in my log files lately. So hopefully this will have improved it. Let me know what you guys think from the beginning part there to the current part. I'm going to wait for daylight, and I'm going to make some changes to the driller, or the grinder, and I will be back momentarily. But I just wanted to prove I'm not crazy. Well, I'm not seeing things. Okay, so slight detour, but I decided to try and go after this thing. I don't remember seeing this up close, but it's called an Obentide. I might have done it before already, or at least shown it. I don't remember seeing it, so I wanted to investigate, because I like seeing new stuff. If it's ones I've seen before, I don't really care as much, but if it's something different, that looks different. I would normally be doing a lot more of my video in the light, or daylight hours. Ooh, it's got guns. Ooh, it's got guns. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Does it have as many guns on the bottom? Kind of looks like it has as many guns on the bottom. I wonder if I can outmaneuver.
Your health is critical.
I like that. Your health is critical. So, yeah, that didn't really go according to plan. Didn't end well, but whatever. So, yeah. I worked on the conveyor, the grinder a little bit in the meantime. It doesn't look that much different. But what I did was I swapped this out for a conveyor junction, because it actually has a large connection on 4 sides and then 3 small on 2 sides. Now, this is inherently a mixed bag, but it's the least amount of reworking that I would need to do. And the reason is, the small connection point is still connecting to the storage container, which means the larger objects, the steel tubes, all that, cannot actually get stored in the storage container. But the grinders do actually have their own storage, so what'll happen is those will be stored in these until I dock, and then they're still allowed to pass through this conveyor to the rest of the storage system. So it's kind of a give and take. It works, and it will kind of fix the problem, so to speak, but it's not ideal in that, like, ideally I could have done something like, I don't know, the storage container's up there, and so then it still connects to that, or I don't know, the grinders are vertical. I don't know, I can't think of any other way to do this without reworking the whole thing, as far as, you know, put a container under there, make it taller, connect that to the connector, things like that. But for only removing one block, this seemed like the easiest solution. So everything that's small will go into the storage container, and then all the larger objects will stay in the grinders until you dock at the ship or base, and then it'll actually offload it. So, you know, give and take. So I think, other than some minor tweaking to, like, for example, I don't think I have the new grinders set up in a group or anything like that, though I don't know that I did before, so I'll probably have to tweak with that a little bit and get, you know, the hotbar set up more correctly, but I think the grinder is done in that regard. I think it's squared away. So, for as much work as I want to do on it. I mean, you could always improve them, but it'll do what I need it to do, and I think that's all I really care about at the moment. So we're going to leave it. Now on to the solar panel situation. I found a spot that I wanted to put solar panels, but I learned something about rotors today. Even when they're incomplete, they still technically function. Did not know that. For example, if I were to place a block here, do not make a liar out of me. It's gonna make a liar. You jerk. Oh, wait, there it goes. Hold on. It's gonna do it. Come on. There it goes. So, yeah, apparently rotors actually still work. Even when they're incomplete. I didn't know that. So, yeah, that's interesting. Now, I don't think you can actually control them, like set the rotation and all that kind of stuff. I just think it's like set to essentially loose mode kind of thing, where it's just going off the physics. Ow! Apparently you can fall through them as well. I'm learning a ton about rotors today. So yeah, my idea for the solar panel, obviously I put it on a piston here, or the solar array, excuse me. My idea for the solar array is I put a piston here with a rotor so that it can spin, but then I also wanted to do a vertical rotor somewhere, and I had it set up for 2. I don't really think that's necessary per se. It's probably only needed to be 1. So I'll probably go ahead and fix that. But my idea... Actually, I'm just gonna kind of undo all of this and start over. But the idea here... screw it. We'll just start completely over. That way the rotations and everything are all set up right. Is essentially, we're going to do this, and I like using batteries. They're a little more expensive, but I like using them for the connection blocks because it just gives me more storage kind of thing. So if I need to have a block somewhere anyway, I just figure why not get more power out of it. Not to say that I would build a base out of batteries or something, but just for the solar arrays, it just seems to make sense. It's also very convenient to find your batteries. I know there are some on the base already, but eh. So for this, let's see. We'll put it this way, I suppose. What I'm thinking is if we bring it out by 2. Now let me actually test something. I want to see if I can lock the rotors without them being powered. Rotors 1 and 2. Let's first of all set the braking all the way up. Apparently it doesn't like that. And then lock them. Now, this will kind of tell me if you can control them at all or if they're just always going to be loose. I think you can control them. I just didn't know I had to. So the idea was to put a block out like this. Please don't fall. Alright, cool. And then put solar panels across here. And maybe put... I won't be able to put batteries there. But do rotors across. And that way the piston can extend to get it a little higher. The rotor can control the horizontal rotation. And then we have a 1 block gap here, basically. Now, I could do it with blast doors, blocks, and all that kind of stuff if I wanted it a little more snug, but I think this is fine. If we put all the solar panels attached to this battery here, then when we rotate this way, it can just kind of rotate over top of the piston area kind of thing, instead of doing the typical fan blade kind of look. So let's see if we can pull that off. Once again, really not a fan of the connection points for solar panels. Let's try... I could do it that way or do it this way. I'm kind of thinking this way. Let's try that. And let's start with... I gotta be a little careful because wherever it rotates, I have to be able to keep it that way. Okay, so it can handle that, it looks like. Alright, cool. I wasn't sure if it could do that or not, but I guess it can, which works for me. And then we'll put panels here, and let's just start like this. Now, again, I don't have any controls going for it at the moment to control it, to rotate it. I'll probably just start off the way that I did my last Let's Play solar array thing. Oh wait, what happened? That's not right. That's not gonna work. Drive my symmetry radar nuts. Symmetradar? Let's go with that. Come on. Thank you. Come on. Gosh, the collision boxes on this are so touchy. There are a lot of ways that Space Engineers is phenomenal, and then there's just some where you're like, man, this is really annoying, and why haven't they fixed this yet? I mean, I know that I'm running without a crosshair and all that stuff, but still, even the crosshair is not 100% accurate. Okay, so since this manages to work, and again, we can extend it up, I just wanted to make sure that we could do it this way. Now, I'd have to be a little bit careful with rotating it if it's not extended, because this is a 1 block, this over here is a 2, so if it rotates it's going to run into this, which would be a problem. So yeah, I don't know if I have enough supplies to do this or not, but I think we're going to try it. Okay, so the good news is the solar array is coming along rather nicely, although it is a lot more resource intensive than I expected it to be. I got the batteries, the rotors, and the piston done, and I got 1 solar panel up, and everything's welded up except for the solar cells, which is taking a lot of resources because I need nickel. That's basically the thing. So I had enough silicon, surprisingly. Let me see if I can find production. So, assembler 2, as you can see, we've got enough silicon, but we were low on nickel. Now we're doing pretty decent. I needed like 400 solar cells or something crazy. So I went over to assembler 2, and I'm breaking down some motors to give us more silicon, is the idea. Now, it's not finding the 2, which is a little interesting. So I guess I'll just have to grab this and throw it in there, and then it can keep going from there. We also have more... I tend to use assembler 2 for some reason. I think it's the default one. So yeah, I thought it was set up to actually do its own, like, talk to each other, but apparently not. So yeah, that's gonna be how we're gonna end up doing this, I think. Let's see if I can... I don't know why the shift clicking thing isn't working. I guess it's because the shift clicking is up here. Let's see. No, it's just not working, but I can drag and drop them over. Weird. That's really weird. Oh, it's because I'm accessing the... through this guy. The why I can drag it is odd. That's weird. I get if it was because you're not accessing a storage point, but then how can I just drag it into my inventory? Like, neither of those scenarios make sense to me. But as you can see, doing pretty well. Pretty well. Oh, so close. Almost got more. So hopefully by the time the sun comes up, I'll have had enough solar panels. Now, the other thing is temporarily, I'll probably grab a solar control script off of the workshop. I think there was one that was used in the solar buggy for the Inspiration series that I thought was really useful. So I'll, now it works. Weird. Just weird. So I'll probably make use of that one, I think. And temporarily at least, because you guys know me, I really do like writing my own stuff. But in a pinch, since, you know, kind of why reinvent the wheel kind of thing, you can still pass through a rotor head. That's alarming, actually. So yeah, I'm probably going to get that squared away. I'm going to go on to the workshop, find that script, and work on getting it up and running. I might have to add a programmable block over on our base somewhere, and hopefully get the rest of our solar cells up and running. Oh, it's still not enough? Wait a minute. Yeah, it's still not enough. That's... I thought I factored it out properly. Oh well, I'll fix it. Oh no, the sun's coming up. At least we'll have 5 panels up and running. Oh, so close. Alright. So yeah, let me work on that and I will be back momentarily. Wow, I'm very proud of myself. It's actually working. So, as I said, we're wrapping up, I think we need more. Yeah, I don't have quite enough. But I believe it's Izzy's script that I just used. Really, really easy to use. All I did was I labeled, I didn't even have to, it just said put them in a group. I don't know how I'm going to have to reverse engineer that crap, because that is pretty intense in terms of how easily it works. All I did was put these 2 rotors in a group called solar rotors. Then I found, I don't actually know where it is, I think it's in this module somewhere over here. I think that's where it showed up on the HUD. But I went in through this. I did make, by the way, because I realized with this small point connecting these 2, I can't actually get large objects out of this either, so I can't really use this as a terminal. So what I did do was I made a storage container right here that gives me access to the base, essentially. Also, it kind of doubles as a control panel. Oh, it's even got the little percentage thing. Look at you. I did rename this solar piston just so I knew what was going on. But yeah, I did solar rotors. That's all it said to do. I'm assuming it's controlling all of this stuff because, well, it does have... Well, no, because it unlocked them and everything. So yeah, it's controlling all of this by itself. And then I went and found... I changed this to base programmable block solar array control. You can see it moving over here. I love this little thing too. That's so cool. But yeah, all I did was browse scripts and found Izzy's solar alignment here. Copied it to the editor, checked code, and told it to run, say whatever it tells you to do. Check code, okay, and then just okay. And that was it. That's all you have to do. And it works really well, as you can see. Now, I did extend the piston because I was afraid it was going to try and rotate around or something, and it was going to hurt the base. So I just extended it for the heck of it. But that's literally the only setup I had to do for it, which is crazy. Oh, I was off by 1. I was off by 1 solar cell. I'll just grab that and throw it in the storage containers down here, I guess. Try not to die by smacking into the solar panel. Come on. So yeah, we have our solar array working, and it's tracking stuff too. Now again, we could probably extend it further out to the left and right, maybe. I don't know, because at a certain point we're going to hit this over here. So more than likely, it's probably better to find like a spot like this and just do another array if we feel that we need more power. I think we'll need more because I've got more than 6. I mean, there's 6 right there. Well, I have 9 on this, I guess. Math. Yeah, I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 on my Sky Factory, and it didn't seem to power it too much. So, now grant you, the base isn't flying and running thrusters and all that kind of crap, so maybe it'll be enough. especially with more accurate tracking. It'll charge them faster and whatnot. But yeah, that's really cool and very useful. It's a really useful little script. Like I said, you guys know me. I like writing my own. And it's not that I don't think I could. I just haven't had a lot of time to sit down and put into it. I've been working on my book and all that kind of stuff too much. But hopefully when that's done, I'm close to getting my book done, actually. I haven't talked about it too much, but I was going to put it in a podcast in more detail. But basically, I'm done with my tinkering that I know of, so now it's into, like, having it edited, which I may end up doing myself anyway, just because editing's expensive. By the way, if you haven't noticed my Patreon... No, I'm just... But the other thing is I'm talking to a couple of artists, and probably by the end of this week, beginning of next week, I'm going to start working with an artist to have the cover done. So it's kind of in the editing cover art phase, and then when that's done... So I'm hoping... I'm really stressed as far as, like, I don't know. I feel kind of under the gun. I don't know if I'll be able to make the deadline or not. I kind of had in mind, like, a December 1st release date. I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off or not. A lot will just depend on how fast some of these things move. But I'm hoping that maybe closer to the start of next year, when my book is done, before I get into another book or a game or something like that, another development project, I might reinvent the Programming 102 series. I did one episode on the 102 to do the nanite controller and stuff, but I think I'm going to go into a bit more detail and stick to some more vanilla type topics, because that was a very specific. It was like nanite machine plus the driller, plus, you know, it was a lot of specific mods. So not as useful. And I've gotten a lot of comments and views and stuff still on the basics episode of Programming 101, which is terrible when I go back and look at it. Oh, so bad. I need to redo it so badly. The production level is terrible. The information was mostly accurate, but very long-winded and stuff. It was bad. Part of that came from not tackling it as a tutorial. It was more of a let's code, for example, and I really should have done it as a tutorial, but whatever. I love this thing, though. Look at it track. It's so pretty. But this is an impressive script, I gotta be honest. I mean, it's like tracking this thing, and I didn't have to do nothing. I just built a couple rotors, threw them in a group, and ran the code. Really pretty. Really, really pretty. And it's even got the little bits and bobs when you're looking at the menu. It's got a little loading thing, which is so cool. So yeah, I definitely am going to have to tear that one apart and see exactly how some of it works and get some of the concepts down. Because I did have a solar tracking script back in the day. I don't know if it would still work or not now, because they've changed so much with the coding API. But I did have one that would kind of track, I think it was one-dimensional. I think it was vertical or horizontal. I don't know that I had a two-dimensional one. But that said, this one works really, really well, so it's probably smart to see what was done and stuff like that, how it was kind of done. Because I'm one of those that I like doing my own code, even if I learned the method or technique from another code or another, you know, because there's still, if you do it yourself, if you rewrite it or do the same logic but do it your own way, you know, it's kind of one of those, like, at least then if you want to do something different, you know, like, this may have been designed for one thing, but if you want to do something your own way that's specific to how you play it, then you're a little bit more free to do it than trying to fully adapt someone else's design. They might have stuff in there you don't need because it had other features that you're not using, blah, 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 blah. So I still like doing my own stuff, but it takes a while. It takes a while to do it, and it takes a while to debug it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, except for one thing that I just now realized. None of these are colored correctly. We kind of have this color theme going on here, and I probably should change this. One thing that I want to do at some point is I found on the workshop, I haven't played around with it yet. Can you color the rotor heads any different? I don't know that you can. It's not making any noise, so I guess not. Oh, the piston heads you can. That's interesting. There, that's better. Now it matches. Yay, matching. Oh. Yeah, that looks so much better. Actually, I guess if I wanted to be kind of clever, I could take the red and paint the middle row red or something like that to give it a little bit of an accent color. What I started to say, though, was there's a mod that I saw on the workshop that was called, like, Block Color Replacer or something, and what it basically lets you do was it was pretty cool. It was basically like you could highlight a block on a grid of that color and paint it something else or use a special block or something, and it would paint the whole grid, anything with that color. It would replace it, which would be really cool for something like this if we wanted to do like go with a bit more of my own color schemes, which are more of a charcoal gray, steel gray with like a blue or a cyan blue kind of thing. I could go with the red and just color replace all the red with a blue and then color replace all the black. And if I did it that way, it would actually, you know, replace everything on the base all at one time, from my understanding of the thing, at least. But I thought that was a pretty cool idea and something I might look into. But with that, I think we're going to wrap up this episode. So we fixed our grinder. Our grinder is back to normal, or back to a better way we can access everything. Let me know in the comments if you guys have a specific drone script that would be good for breaking down this supply ship, because I don't know much about the drone scripting. I'm not very familiar with all the scripts out there, and I'd like one that maybe I can target a grid and it can just grind it type of thing. Like I can fire and forget and it'll make trips back to the base and like offload its stuff kind of thing. I don't know if one like that exists or not, but let me know if there is, or if there's one you guys really like, or is it really useful. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Are you going to bend into yourself? How's that going to work? I guess it stopped. I'm surprised it's still getting 4 pips. That's interesting. I'm not going to knock it. Whatever. But yeah, I'd like to find some kind of script where I could basically target this ship, because it's not linked to anything with a merge block. It's just got landing gears. So I'd like to grab my grinder drone and go, hey, go break this down, and not have it like go for the antenna, and once the antenna's down then it runs away. I'd like it to be able to find the actual grid. I'm sure I'll have to do a sensor or something for it to do that, but let me know what you guys think. Also, again, I'd like your feedback on the quality. I have checked some of the log files as I've been recording these little blips, and I'm still, even on the older version of OBS, still seeing some frame rate drops. It's not as bad, but they're still there, so let me know if it's better, worse, same, etc. And if any of you have a lot of experience with OBS or something like that, let me know if you guys know of a way to make it better, kind of thing. I'm all ears. Because I was not aware of that. I am now, so I will try and iron out different settings and stuff each episode and try and see if I can fix it. But let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments in the meantime. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.